Hey everybody, today we are taking a look at a strange little game called Birth. What is this about? Well, Birth, even though that cover doesn't really tell you a whole lot, is a dice game in which you're going to be rolling a pool of dice and then using those dice to manipulate a pawn on a board. And, well, let me just show you, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you what I think of it. Birth, as I said before, is a game that comes with a bunch of variants. And I'm going to be showing you one of those ways of playing that is one of my favorites. The game comes with this board, which is actually a double-sided board. And it has this side as well. Very cool. And it actually comes with another board, but this is printed on paper. And so there's that has no numbers, and on the back with a different distribution of spots around the outside as well. So there is that. It comes with all the dice for 3 players, and the pawns, and one of the worst scoring tracks ever because it goes back and forth on the same track with no indication that you should be turning around. But that's okay. For the beginning of the game, we're going to set up the pawns here, starting from the first spot, which is got a different color there, and then the other guys after that. And then each player would roll all their dice. So I'm just gonna grab a few here and roll them. All right. So we would do that, let's say, and then each player gets all their dice in a pool in front of them. All right. And so we're not going to worry about all of these for right now. I'll just give you a quick demo here. The way this works is we're going to, on your turn, each player is going to take a die, and they're going to move their pawn that many spaces. So, let's say this player picks their 6, and they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and they're going to put their 6 in that spot. Then it would be the yellow player's turn. Now, if you land on someone else with your die, so 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you move 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there you leave your die. And so we continue. Each player would do that. Here, this player would do that. 1, 2, 3. Blue would go again. Let's say they would do just the 1, and they would move there, and so on. So you'll be traveling around, leaving dice in specific spots. If at any time a player lands in a space with a die face that is the same as another one there, then you can take that one that was previously there and push it one way or push it the other way. Now, why do we want to do this? Well, points. At the end of the game, there's 2 ways of scoring this. You're going to get, for every die that's in that spot, you're going to get that many points. As you can see in this section here that gives you 8 points, there's a single stopping place. And so if you land there, then that die is worth 8 points to you. There's another way to score. So that's one way to score. So right now this would be 3, 5 for yellow. Blue would have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And red would have, well, 2 points because I'm not really playing a game. At the end, there's another way to score, which is the relative score. And in that one, then you would add up the pips of each die, of every die, I should say, and you would get the score. If you get the most in that spot, in that pie wedge there, then you would get that score as well. And so here, blue would have another 5 points. Whoops. And blue here would have another 7, and yellow would have another 3. You score both scores on this track. And that's basically the game. Very quick, very simple. 2 or 3 players. And there's some of that tactics where you can calculate where you'll land, push someone out. Sometimes you'll even push someone to a spot where they'll get more points for that, but they won't score because they're being beat. Right? So if I have something like this, and I land here with my yellow, well, I'm okay to push you that way, let's say, because you'll lose the 6 points you would get for this if I put you here. And that's basically Birth. That's the game. So there you have it, Birth. Probably not what you were expecting from this cover anyway. I wasn't sure what I was expecting either. When I saw this, I just had no idea what was going to happen. So this is on the back. So you right away go, oh, okay. It seems strange, but okay. And it is a little bit strange. It's cool strange, though, I have to say. I really like this little game. I think it's an interesting tactical dice game in which you roll your entire pool of dice and then pick from those on each turn. You can really mess with your opponents. I didn't go into too many of the variants, alternate boards, all that stuff. But there's actually a fair amount there to explore. You can try the different boards. You can try different rules about how you manipulate the dice when you land with someone in the same space. Instead of pushing someone out, that's one alternate rule. Instead, you would actually re-roll what's in that spot. You can play that way if you're okay with that. Lots of little interesting things going on. A very unique game, I thought. Obviously the game does, like, the look of it is a little strange, a little, it's a little empty maybe, but I actually like it, and I think it'll be a plus to this game instead of a detriment. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, it'll be a hard one to find. In fact, I had to go and find rules for this online because it did not come with English rules in the box. But I'm glad I did, and I really enjoyed it. I would recommend this to fans of, obviously, light dice games, to people who are okay with a little take that in their dice games, but also to the tacticians out there that want a filler, because I do think it has some interesting choices. One thing I didn't mention in my overview is that when you land, if you land exactly on the starting spot again, you get to pick up all your dice in the dice pool and re-roll them. And so once your number variability or flexibility starts to dwindle, well, you can land. If you're able to land back on that spot, you get to re-roll all of that and give yourself more options. I really need one. Birth, it's just a cool, strange little game. Check it out if it sounds good to you.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.